like I'd rather be a sheep. How you doing? Yeah.
These instruments such as the pipe or the drum that drummers could purchase or borrow from. I believe the Virginia State Garrison Regiment had its own supply of instruments that musicians could use.
But you didn't necessarily know how to do that.
You'd have to pick it up, and you would be referred often to the fife or drum major, the higher ranking member of the corps or of the company.
Like battalion or whatever.
Right.
A lot of musicians, from what I've heard and researched, a lot of drummers came from family heritage. So they're drummers such as if I was a drummer in the 18th century, my father might have been a drummer in the French.
So you're playing at the kitchen table all the time. You're doing everything.
Sir.
Would you all like us to hear us play a tune all together?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Enron, pick a tune.
A tune? I don't know.
Lots of Eddie's Mill.
Sure.
Force like this. My left hand is behind, that way when I thrust forward, I can actually extend into the thrust, much like thrusting a spear or a sword. We also have manuals that tell us how to thrust, step in, and then you can really get in there and do unpleasant things. The idea is this: even when we shoot, even when we charge with bayonet, we're not trying to kill anybody. Killing is not the goal. Killing is a means to an end. But there is not a single general, be it 21st century or 18th century, that you can go up to and say, I want to join your army to kill a man. And they will not say, go talk to a priest or the men in the pretty white coats at the public hospital because there's a problem with you. The goal of a war is to fight for resources, to either take or keep it. If a man dies because of that, that is an unfortunate side effect, but it's not the end goal itself. We are trying to convince the people on the land that they're standing on that that is not the place they want to be. And we do this quite efficiently. If you have land that you want to protect in a military fashion, what do you build on it? A fort, a castle, walls. We are indeed building walls, but our walls are not stone and brick. Our walls are soldiers. Each soldier has a pair of feet, a pair of hands, a musket, and a bayonet. And our wall can move. And our wall can have a conversation with your wall of men. And that conversation is, hey, leave or die. We do that by firing walls of bullets at them, known as volleys. Minimum 3 ranks, minimum 30 men per rank. First rank fires, bang. That is a wall of 69 caliber musket balls flying at 1,200 feet per second. That's the diameter of my thumb, flying just below the speed of sound. It does not matter where that bullet touches you. I might not be able to hit you dead center every time, but if that bullet so much as touches you, you are a casualty, injured beyond fighting. That's what makes this so effective. There's a saying in the 18th century, one bullet could take out a dozen men. Because if you see the man right next to you fall down face down dead in the mud, what do you naturally want to do?
Run away.
Get the heck out of there! Run! You might try to fire back at us, but it's going to be very difficult if we keep the pressure on. If we have the initiative, we can push into you. The second we fire, we begin reloading. As we reload, the second rank marches 20 feet in front of us and fires. Bang. The next start reloading as the third rank marches 20 feet in front of them and fires. Bang. The next start reloading as the first rank's now reloaded and we're 20 feet in front of them. In 15 seconds, we crossed 60 feet of ground, fired 3 walls of 30 bullets, and are ready to do it again.
Even machine guns.
If you have not taken the hint and gotten to leave, we have now made a major hole in the men of your unit. If you are still standing there, we will now attempt to push you off the field. We are no longer 3 ranks of 30, we're 1 rank of 90. Who here can see a musket ball flying 1,200 feet per second? Who here can see 90 men with bayonets screaming for your blood, running at you at full tilt?
Time to run.
What do you think is going to be more terrifying?
Bayonets.
The bayonets. Now, we are going to attempt to push you off the field. If the bayonets do not push you, what do the bayonets do? They stab you. Now, for those of you who have not had the privilege, being stabbed is most unpleasant. I do not suggest it. Highly overrated. If you get stabbed with this, it is a 14-inch long sharpened spike. It is most unpleasant, and if I go through you, I'm hitting something vital. We have another saying in the military. This one's more modern. Only leave the battlefield with as many holes as you came in with. So if the man next to you has 3 or 4 extra belly buttons, what do you naturally want to do?
Run.
Run! Because if not, we draw swords, hatchets, and knives, and I regret wearing a white uniform. But I say all this for one very important reason. This is fast, this is efficient, this is deadly. The casualties that we can cause are atrocious, and we do it all within about 35 minutes. That's the average length of a battle in the 18th century. This is a British Shortland pattern musket. Where does it come from?
England.
Which is part of?
London.
London is capital. Think bigger.
Commonwealth.
Europe.
Smaller.
United Kingdom.
Not named that yet. Starts with a B. The British Shortland pattern musket comes from?
Britain.
Britain. It's the main weapon of the?
British.
But why do I as a Virginian have this gun?
Because they picked it up in the field.
Wrong.
Oh, because they were part of Britain.
We still are, technically. Virginia is a colony of?
Britain.
But who are we at war with?
Britain.
Who's not going to send us any more guns?
Britain.
But if I'm British, with a British weapon, British officers, and British manuals, fighting other Brits, what kind of war is this? It's not a revolution unless we win. It's a civil war. The man on the other side of that field is not some foreign invader. He is not from some strange country that's trying to invade us. It is quite the opposite. That man across the field could very well be my brother, my cousin, my neighbor, the man I play cards with at the tavern, the man I sit next to at church. In the beginning of the war, 38% of the men in red coats were born in North America. So whenever you see us fighting, or we talk about fighting, and you think about the death and destruction, remember, these aren't strangers. These are quite literally our own people. But with all that levity, who just wants to watch me fire the dang gun again?
Hey.
I figured. From the posture of a soldier, from the manual of arms, ankles together, feet at a 90-degree angle, back straight, gut in, chest out, shoulders back. Middle finger of the right hand against the S from the trousers, left hand cradles the musket. First order, prime hand, load! Grab the rest of the weapon to the right hand side of the body, floating at the short ribs, hand on top of the jaws locked, pull back to half cock with a click. Reach right inside the cartridge box, open it up, withdraw the cartridge. Bring the cartridge to your mouth, don't take 2 cartridges, that would be bad. Open it up, throw it down, pinch it open, prime the pan, close the hammer, cast them out, charge the piece, withdraw the rammer, insert the tip, ram it home, withdraw, back to the pipes, hand behind the muzzle, back to the shoulder. Right, ready! Full cock, hammer stall off. Present! Fire! It would be a mess if I put a bullet in it. But I did not, because I'm not putting holes in the 300-year-old brick. Questions? Remember, there are no dumb questions, just
try it again?